Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Football Manager series. This is episode number 31, and today we're returning with a brand new season as our 5th year with Cardiff gets underway today. Today we'll see the first game of the Premier League season away against Manchester United. A look at how pre-season went, some very interesting things to report with the World Cup, and of course the much-loved transfer special. And what a window we've just had. Let's get to it first. And this was definitely our best window of the save so far. The business was fantastic, both for the signings and for the sales. Everything went according to plan in this transfer window, and I rarely get to say that about my transfer business. And we also spent more money than ever before in a single window. So, yeah, it was an interesting one. I'm excited to show you the signings. But as always, we'll start with the departures and the players that left the club, and we'll begin with the players who were released at the end of the season. Khedira was released, as you guys knew was going to happen. He's not been picked up by anyone yet. And also Zohore and Rules. Two of our original Cardiff players from Season 1 both got released. Zohore, just 2 Premier League goals in his last 2 seasons. Not enough to score a new contract because he just doesn't score enough, simple as. So Zohore's gone to Villa Park and he's picked up there. And also Joe Rules, I was kind of sad to let him go really because he joined Cardiff in his first year of professional football and he is homegrown and trained by the club. But we've got enough central midfield options here now. He would have been like 7th choice, and quite frankly, we wouldn't cut his wages either. And I just thought, you know what, you're not worth it, mate. So Rules, he said well still pre-season was over, but he's gone, and there you go. And also as well, Chayot on a free transfer to Galatasaray, which you guys knew about. There were a couple of loan deals, including youngster in Cook, and also Cotterill joining Millwall on loan. And you best believe when that bid came in from Millwall, I was pretty tempted to just take him off the loan list straight afterwards and say, okay guys, you can stop bidding now. He's found his home for a year. Cotterill goes to Millwall. Of course, I've persuaded him to go there to the Den, and we'll see how he gets on in his year at Millwall. So far hasn't scored a goal, so not a great start. We'll see how he gets on regardless. And also Michael Keane left to West Ham for a year's loan. However, this deal is going to be made permanent come the end of this season. Of course, we signed him last year for 12.5 mil from Everton. I thought it was a bargain. Put him on 72 grand a week. It was rubbish. It was rubbish in all the games he played, and I didn't seem to get on with him. So we loaned him out to West Ham. They'll pay $1 million for the year, and then 5.25 mil at the end of this year. So that deal is not optional, but it's mandatory. So Keane will go. It's compulsory that West Ham put the bid in there, and that you sign him. So yeah, Keane will go come the end of the year for a total of 6.25 mil. So it gets rid of his terrible wages, but what an awful contract that was. I've only got myself to blame for that one. And also Ajapong, interestingly enough, left to Stoke for £23 million, 17 mil up front, 6 mil over a year. And Ajapong, of course, only 24 years old. He came in a couple years ago. He was our starting right back, but he never really developed whilst he was with us. And whilst he's still got a few years to go before he starts to decline, I thought if we can cash in and make a profit on the guy, I'm okay doing that because we're going to sign a new right back anyway. So Ajapong goes, and fair enough. And also, of course, the noteworthy sale, Harry Mcguire. Ever since we stripped him of the captaincy, you knew after that his time at Cardiff was done. He got sold at Spurs for 25 million, but this is really interesting because Mcguire has been loaned out to Wolves for the year, and I've got absolutely no idea why. Spurs are actually paying most of his wages whilst he's at Molineux as well. He's 29 years old, turns 30 during the season. All I can say is I think we've absolutely fleeced Spurs. We've absolutely done him in. £25 million for a player that's clearly got discipline issues after last season, and they've loaned him out straight away. So I don't know what's going on there, but Mcguire's gone to Wolves, and I think we've totally done Spurs in. We sent them a tape of him at the World Cup in 2018 and says, yeah, he's just as good now, guys. Trust us on that. Give us 25 mil, that's the player you're getting. But instead, he's clearly a shadow of the player he was back in Russia. So yeah, those are the sales, and now let's move on to the signings. Crazy window this one, so many to get through. It's amazing. What a window! And as always, we'll reveal the signings one by one, starting with the most uninspiring, moving all the way to the most exciting deal of the window. And we'll begin with James Milner, who arrives on a free transfer for a year. And you know the reason we struggled last year? I figured it out yesterday. The reason we struggled is because the signings we made last season, none of them were veterans, none of them were wonderkids. We never do that. So this year we've gone back to what we do best, and that's bringing some old boys and some young boys. James Milner, certainly an old boy, 36 years old, and he'll turn 37 during the season. We need these veterans here. We need these leaders, these dressing room leaders with fantastic mental stats. And Milner comes in after being released by Southampton. It's a one-year deal, 19 grand a week. If he plays 5 league games, we'll get an extra year, so I'll make sure he only plays 4 max. But yeah, Milner in, and you know why I've signed him. Fuck the physicals. Technicals are still pretty decent, to be fair, on a 36-year-old. But mentally, this guy's got everything I crave in a new signing. Absolutely fantastic all across the board, with the standouts being 19 determination, 18 work rate, and 17 for teamwork as well. So Milner in for the year, a dressing room leader. We had to get back to basics. Wonder kids and veterans, that's how we do things. Next up, a new striker arriving on loan. It's Facundo Colidio. Is that how you pronounce that? I'm not entirely sure. He's a 22-year-old Argentine striker that turns 23 during the season. We've loaned him in for a year. He's on 27.5 grand a week, so we're just paying a third of his wage, or about a third of his wages. And yeah, there's no fee for the loan either. It's just taking a bit of his salary. So he comes in. He's got some decent stats. He's pretty quick, 15 acceleration, 16 pace. Mentally, some good stats in key areas, including 16 anticipation, 15 composure, and 16 off the ball, and technically as well 16 finishing and 15 first touch. So here he's got some good stats. He's only 22, but he hasn't really played that much. That's the only thing about this guy that gives me a little bit of there's a little red flag about that. He hasn't played much, and it's not due to injury. He's been pretty much as fit as a fiddle since the save began, yet for some reason he's not really been played by Inter, and I don't really know why, so it's a little bit of a concern. But he's in on loan. He's our 3rd/4th choice striker this year, and we'll see how he gets on. And this is the guy that he'll be competing with for that 3rd choice striker role. Fedor Smolov arrives from Russia with love. 32 years old, to another veteran coming into Cardiff, and he's on a 2-year deal here on 25 grand a week, so not too much here for a striker that has a really decent goal-to-game ratio. Now, his past 4 years he's spent with Lokomotiv Moscow, and he's played really well away in Russia. The past 2 years, not quite as good as the first 2 years, but either way, still a decent goal-to-game ratio. And to arrive on a free transfer, 25 grand a week, I think it's a good deal. It's his first stint in English football, so we'll be interested to see how he adapts to it, but his stats are pretty decent and nicely well balanced, and again, at 32 years old, he's certainly not lost much at all. Physically, he's not that bad, not great, but not bad. He's quite well balanced, and at 6'2" as well, should win some balls in the air. Mentally, not bad either, with 15 determination, nice to see, and 14 off the ball too, and technically, 15 for both, 15 for finishing first touch, and also for technique as well. He looks alright, 3rd/4th choice striker. Smolov comes in, we'll see how he gets on. And the veterans just keep on rolling. I've learnt my lesson from last year. Vitolo is the next man up, and the 4th of the 8 signings I'll show you today. Very, very happy with this signing. He was released by Atletico Madrid in the summer on a free transfer, but he's been a main player and a major player for Atletico Madrid over the past few years in the save, and he's done really well, averaging over a 7.0 in all of his years at the Vicente Calderon. In fact, they don't play there anymore, do they? It's the Wanda Metropolitano, isn't it? I think that's right, isn't it? Wanda Metropolitano. Well, okay, fair enough, that'll do. And yeah, Vitolo comes in, and on a free transfer, he's on 55 grand a week on a 2-year deal. Now, he is going to turn 33 in a few months' time as well, so that is a little bit of a concern, a pricey little contract there, but Vitolo's stats are really, really nice, and mentally too, he's got some great stats. Now, he's not the quickest of wide midfielders/wingers. In fact, he's quite slow, but he has got 15 for strength, which is quite nice, so he can hold onto the ball quite well down the flags, and mentally is where he really excels here. Some absolutely fantastic stats all across the board, including 15 for off the ball, 15 for determination, 14 vision, 17 teamwork, and 19 work rate, which, you know, I love. That's a really handy stat on wide players as well. And technically as well, some really good stats too. 15 for first touch, 14 dribbling, 14 finishing, 15 passing, 14 technique. Really, really nice stats here. And again, physically, there's a bit of a cause for concern, especially as a wide player at 32 years old, but he's got some very nice stats elsewhere, and I think this guy could definitely be moved into play central for us this year, and also next year as well, if he's too slow to play on the flank. So Vitolo in, and a free transfer. I'm really happy with that signing. Expensive contract, but I think it'll be worth it. So 4 signings down, 4 to go, and I promise we're done with the veterans now. So we'll now move on to the wonder kids and the big names as well. And we'll start off with let's go over wonder kids, shall we? Let's let's reveal a wonder kid, shall we? And perhaps our new starting right back and our new number 2, Stefano, comes in from Bologna, and I can't tell you how happy I am about this deal. Now, I found this guy during the season last year, and midway through the campaign, we sold Callum Patterson to Celtic, and this was going to be the replacement. Unfortunately, Bologna would not let him go, because why? He's 19 years old and got some incredible stats and could become one of the best right backs in the world. But Bologna got relegated last year, and he had an active relegation clause of 7.25 mil. I was willing to go up to about 15 to 20 million for this guy. Because of that clause, we get him on a cut price deal, and at 19 years old, this guy could be absolutely incredible in the future, man. He already looks great right now. Now, physically, this guy's really, really quick. 18 acceleration, 17 agility, and 70 for pace as well, with 15 natural fitness and 14 stamina, really handy too. Mentally, he's got some great stats already, including 18 determination. You know I've got to love that, and 17 positioning too, really nice. 10 teamwork is a bit of a concern, but other than that, really nice mental stats, and technically too, he looks pretty decent to begin with, although hopefully these will improve over time. With 11 crossings, so he can provide something going forward. 9 dribbling, not the greatest though, and 10 passing, not too great too. But 11 marking and 12 tackling. Again, the technical stats aren't great to begin with, but over time they will develop. And again, with the mental stats he's got and the physical stats too, this guy could become an absolute freak of nature down the right-hand side as the years go by in terms of his pace and hopefully what he can offer on the offensive end. Because I'm really going to try and turn this guy into the ultimate win back. So Stefano comes in and really happy. Great deal for us, really cheap deal, and he could become the future of our right back role for many years to come. However, it's not a guarantee he will be our starting right back this year, because I have brought in someone else to play there, and it's a name you guys will know, Alvaro Odriozola, the Real Madrid right back who joined Paris Saint-Germain in the game. And I've got to be honest here, this is one of those deals where after I clicked accept, I was like, have I made a bad call there? Because we signed for £20.5 million. It's one of our most expensive signings ever. I believe our 3rd or perhaps 4th most expensive signing ever. And whilst the guy's got Champions League experience, he's won a trophy of Real Madrid as well. He's good, but is he worth 88 grand a week? Is he worth these really big bulky bonuses? It's also worth considering he's got injury problems and a recurring injury as well. And for £20.5 million, I got to be honest here, I think I made the wrong call. I think I just should have signed Stefano because he came in first. And not sign this guy, and just sign someone cheaper to play backup right back for Stefano, and put all our faith in the kid. Like, his stats are really good. You know, he's quick, 15 acceleration, 15 agility, with 18 for pace and 16 stamina too, really nice as well. Mentally, he's not bad either. 30 determination, not great. 15 work rate is always very nice to see, and technically as well, offers something going forward. 13 crossing, 14 dribbling, 14 first touch as well, with 15 technique and 13 passing, and also defensively, 13 marking and 13 tackling. It's not bad. But is it worth 88 grand a week? Is it worth £20.5 million? I think I might have made a bad call there. We'll see. Alright, so moving on to the final 2 signings of the transfer special, and we'll start with, ironically, the first signing of the window. You've seen 2 right-backs, you've seen 2 midfielders, you've seen 2 strikers, and now you're going to see 2 new centre-backs for Cardiff, starting with, oh, I'm excited, Geordie's in from PSV Eindhoven. This is a 19-year-old Dutch centre-half. He's actually called Jordi Hage, but I don't know how you pronounce that. Is it Hage? But I prefer Geordie, so we'll call him Geordie. Like Stefano, I can't pronounce his surname, so I've given him his nickname with the first name instead. And Geordie comes in for £22 million from PSV Eindhoven in the Netherlands, and I'm very, very excited about this guy because, how often did I say it last season? We can't defend set pieces, no one takes charge. Well, I think this is the guy that's going to do it for us, because this guy is 6'6". He's a giant. That's what drew me to him, with 18 for jumping as well. He should never, and I mean ever, lose an aerial duel, with 16 for strength too. Mentally, he's not too bad. There are a couple of red flags here, including 10 for bravery and 11 for composure. Not the best, but 15 positioning is really good. And technically as well, 12 for heading. Not great at 6'6", but still good enough, I suppose. With 17 marking and 15 for tackling as well. It's a 5-year deal. It's 45 grand a week, and I'm hoping this guy can be our Virgil van Dijk. You know, the new Van Dijk, he's tall, he should take charge from set pieces. It's what we need to plug the gaps and stop our leaky defence. Jordan in, and I'm very excited. The wonder kid arrives, and he's an absolute giant. And as we move on to the final signing, this is the third most expensive signing of the window, but I believe the best one of the window. A really, really good deal, and I hope will be the answer to our defensive problems. He was my number one target. We managed to bring him in. Welcome to Cardiff City Football Club, Presnel Kimpembe. The Paris Saint-Germain centre-half arrives from France for a very cheap deal of just £13.5 million. He barely played for PSG last year, only 2 games, interestingly enough, was not out due to injury. So for some reason, PSG just didn't want to play him last year, but we pick him up on a really, really cheap deal. The wages, however, are really expensive. It's our most expensive contract of the save, and he's also our first ever player to go on to 100 grand a week. So 100 grand a week for Kimpembe, 4-year deal, but this guy's got some fantastic stats, and I believe should hopefully really be the improved quality we need in our backline, and him partnering Jordi should see us stop leaking as many silly goals as we have done throughout the first 4 years. Now, physically, this guy's really good. He's not slow off the mark like our previous centre-backs. Our 15 jumping and 16 strength with 6'2" should hopefully do alright in the air. Well, touch wood, I've got to say that, considering our problems so far. Mentally, the guy's fantastic. He reads the game so well. 14 anticipation, 15 composure with 16 concentration as well. And with 15 determination, 16 work rate, that's a real nice bonus for me. With 14 positioning and 15 teamwork. And technically too, he's alright when playing out from the back. 13 first touch with 12 for passing despite having 10 for vision. And heading 15, marking 15, tackling 15. That's the trio I look for in the technical stats on a centre-back. And Kimpembe, hopefully, is going to shore up our backline this year. He's got winners' experience with Paris Saint-Germain and with France as well back in 2018. I'm excited, man. Very expensive contract, but a bargain at 13.5 mil. Kimpembe is in. So all in all, £63 million spent on 8 new players after raising 48.5 mil for the window as well. So for a net loss, it's actually only 14.5 mil. That's incredible. So basically, this is like 14.5 mil lost to make this squad. And this is a much, much better squad. Our finances right now, as you can see, 6.65 mil left in the transfer budget and 11.2 mil in our overall bank balance right now. But this squad to me is just much, much better than last year. You know, last year, it was a bit of a mess last year. It was a bit of a mess, I'm not going to lie. But this squad to me looks a lot better than last year's. The team reports suggest we made improvements to the team as well. I'm excited. You know, I like what we've got here for Season 5. I really do. I think there's a little bit more depth in some important areas as well, including up top after the arrivals of Smolov and Kalidio as well. And, of course, at the back as well, we've... forgot to mention, we also re-signed Johnny Evans. We re-signed Johnny Evans for the new year as well. He spent 3 years with us for £3 million. And whenever he played, he put in a good shift. He's a team leader, he's our vice captain. So we kept Evans as well. I'm really pleased with that, despite the fact he's not very good now. And he also took a massive pay cut as well. That's professionalism. Where is he? I've lost him. That's professionalism from Johnny Evans. He was on 52 grand a week. He took a massive pay cut to 18 grand a week. Oh, Johnny. We love this guy, man. Our vice captain, we love him, and yeah, the team's got better as far as I'm concerned. I'm liking it, I really am. So let's move on to the dynamic screen, which you guys know is one of my favourite parts of the game. Right now you see the team cohesion is good, the dressing room atmosphere is very good, and the managerial support is also very good as well. There are 3 issues though for 2 of our players, and of course the main one is that player Maria once again is not happy with me. He's not happy with me. In the summer, he had bid from Man City and Borussia Dortmund. I rejected them both, and he took particular offence to me rejecting the bid for Manchester City because they could have offered him much higher wages. But he hasn't taken me out of his favourite personnel, so he still loves me, and of course the feeling is mutual, although he has requested to leave. But, of course, he signed that new contract last season. He's still got 4 years left on it. So I think we'll be okay. And, of course, he's now on 100 grand a week as well because of that much higher Sterner clause due to Kimpembe joining. He goes from 80 grand a week to 100 grand a week. So, very pricey contract. But 4 years left on it. And I think we'll be able to talk him round. I think we'll be able to talk him round again. He loves me still. And the Cardiff fans love him. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. It's just a slight issue, that one. And as for the hierarchy as well, our team leaders are the same as last season. It's Captain Jason, now our primary team leader, which just feels right. Johnny Evans, of course, who retains his position as a team leader after signing a new contract as our vice captain, and also Vic Camarasa as well, as Maria has now shot up from an other player to a highly influential player in just 1 year. I love that. And as for the social groups as well, This is a horrible screen to show you. 4 splits. Everyone is everywhere right now. There's 4 WhatsApp groups, and quite frankly, I'm not liking that at all. I'm not in any of them. That's why. And yeah, the team is not gelling very well, which is again a bit of a concern. I'll be honest. Also, you might be interested to know that Zlatan Ibrahimovic is now an under-18s coach here as well, so you've just gotta love that. I love FM so much, man. And also, Jason is now an icon for Cardiff as well. He's jumped from the favoured personnel to the icons list after 4 amazing seasons for us in the save. And I'm not going to rest until he becomes a legend, man. That's my goal for the save. Make Jason a Cardiff legend. Also as well, look at pre-season, how that went on through the summer. We won all of our games apart from our Cardiff Cup semi-final, where Juventus battered us 6-2. And of course, we thrashed the Cardiff Corries in the annual Get the Testosterone Flowing match. That's what it should be called. That's what it should be called. In the matchday programme for that pre-season friendly, it should be called the, in quotes, Get the Testosterone Flowing match. But 10 in the final score. And also as well, the interesting thing was the World Cup. I wanted to show you that as well. Now, when you look at the fixtures here, you might be interested to see that there's no games in November and only 1 in December. And you might think, what's going on there? The Premier League doesn't have a winter break. What's going on there? Well, it's because the World Cup is going to be played over those 2 months. Which is crazy because I've never seen that happen in any FM save I've ever done. As I mentioned before, in the past few years, whenever I did an FM save, the World Cup 2022 would always be taken away by Qatar and given to someone else. But in this save, for the first time ever, Qatar have retained their right to hold the World Cup, and they're going to be hosting it in the winter, which is going to be really, really, really interesting and really intriguing. I've never had that happen to me in FM before, so I'm excited. I'm excited. There's our own winter break here. Our players are going away, and because of that, there's a lot more fixture congestion this year as well. This is going to be this is a unique, unprecedented season for me playing FM. I've never had this sort of thing before, so it's going to be really interesting to see how our players get on with that. And a big reason as to why we made our squad thicker than last year, as we'll need to cope with the rotation required for playing a lot of games in midweek. And as for the competitions overviews for the new season as well, for the Premier League, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, they've all shot up apart from the Premier League. Once again, Vincent Tan says just finishing the top half, which we should definitely be able to do. But as for the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, these have now increased. Reached the 6th round of the FA Cup and the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. That's going to be tough to hit both of those. We should be able to do that league objective pretty easily, but those two, very tough. And I believe that's pretty much all I wanted to show you. So let's dive into the first game and the only game of today's episode as we take on Leeds. What? It's Manchester United. No, it's not. It's Manchester United. Oh. What am I doing? This isn't. That's not. That's New Year's Eve, mate. That's New Year's Eve. You're a moron. It's Manchester United away, obviously. At Old Trafford. Of course, the champions, they won it last year, and they won the Champions League last year as well, under Zidane. We've yet to beat them in the save. The best we've done is a draw. And as I said last season, I've got a feeling, don't ask me why, but I've got a feeling they could become as dominant as they were in our whole save a few years ago. So heading to the game, the first one of the season. Right now in the injury report, one noteworthy injury. Latif, who was out on loan at Vigo last year, our young Egyptian midfielder. Oh, serious injury, damages cruciate ligaments, out for 4 to 6 months. Latif going to miss a huge chunk of the season. That's gutting for the kid there. And Stefano away with the Italy under-19s. And everyone else is fighting fit and ready to go. So this is our team, 4-1-2-3, and this is our lineup. Our new Cardiff City lineup. We've got Onana in goal. About for Goncalves, Kimpembe, Jordi and Odriozola. So 3 of our back 4 changed for the new season, with the midfield trio being Camarasa, Ward-Prowse and McKennie. On the wing, Sessegnon and Jason, and up top player Maria. On the bench, Moreira, Metham, Davis Lum, McTominay, Vitolo and Fernandez as well. So it's a new look Cardiff City team this. First game of the season, United away. Let's see how we get on. Come on, you Bluebirds. As discussed pre-game, we haven't picked up a single win against United in the saves so far. This is the toughest fixture of the season for us, so I'm glad we're getting out of the way straight away, because it's pretty much a guaranteed loss. As Gedson Fernandez makes it 1-0, United in front with their first shot of the game. It's pretty much a guaranteed loss whenever we take them on, particularly away from home. So get this game, the first one this season, out of the way straight away. It's the toughest game of the year, so get it out of the way straight away. 1-0 down, fine. And yes, I am aware that our first goal conceded of the season came from a fucking corner. Yeah, I am aware. It's just ridiculous. Like, seriously, how do you defend corners? How do you defend corners in FM? I don't understand it. I mean, that wasn't from a ball into the box, but either way, it still results in a goal, and we're 1-0 down. Good header there by Geordie, as we expect to win all the balls in the air this year, and now McKennie receives it from Odriozola back towards Camarasa. Can we get our first chance of the game and get back on level terms? Ward-Prowse on the ball, plays it through to Sessegnon, and Ryan in behind, taken down by Rugani, and it's a VAR decision. Normally, this is always a penalty when a player goes down clearly inside the box from the VAR, so I'm pretty sure it will be. And can we get it confirmed there? Yep, there we go, penalty. And Jason is going to take it. And can our captain start the season off by notching one up from 12 yards? It's Jason. Who scores? Wasn't in doubt really, was it? Bottom corner. He only missed one in the entirety of last season. That was against Aston Villa away, and then he scored one directly afterwards in the same game. This guy's got the nerve from 12 yards now, and you always have faith in him. Jason tucks it home, Cardiff back on level terms. Well done, skipper. So second half underway, still tied at 1-1. This will be a fantastic result if we can hold on to it. Still half an hour to go though, so a long way left, but a draw away at Old Trafford, and 3 of our new back 4 have done okay out there today. This will be a brilliant result. Oh, with 20 minutes to go. Let's see if we can hold on to it or perhaps get 3 points. Odriozola on the move. Sends it long. Sessegnon tackled by Fernandez. And is it a penalty? It's another VAR. I don't think I've ever gotten 2 VAR penalty decisions in the same game. As Mario Fernandez and Sessegnon are having a bit of a duel there, I think. Inside the area. Heads coming together, I think. A heated moment in the game. Is it a penalty? It's not a penalty. It's a corner instead. So it's still 1-1. And I didn't think we'd be so lucky to get 2 penalties awarded in the same game at Old Trafford. But still 1-1, 18 minutes to go. Corner. Jason. Lukaku heads clear. And United come on the break. And this is the danger. Grimaldo storming over the halfway line. Oh, good tackle on Calvez. Lerma for McKennie is our final sub. We have just entered stoppage time. And that should do it. And this will be a fantastic result for Cardiff. Just our 2nd point picked up against United in the entire save as we stop the rot against them and get a credible point. And I think our first one at Old Trafford as well. Unless Werner can do something. Mario Fernandez. Geordie heads it away. Oh, big block. Grimaldo. No! Offside, Lino's not moving, it's got to be offside. Oh, it's another VAR, the third of the game, and I think it's been ruled out. It has, it's a full-time whistle and it won't count. The final kick of the game. Oh, was he offside? Oh, it's tight, but the left foot comes out and I think the VAR's called it right, as Cardiff escape and manage to cling on to the point right at the death. So I'll say to the boys, well done, lads. You've just proved a lot of people wrong in avoiding that defeat out there. We got ourselves a very good point. The 3 of our new back 4 played well in that game, despite conceding a goal from a corner again. And a point's a decent result. I'll definitely take that. I think that's a great way to start the new season. I like the team we've got. I like the start we've made. I think we're top of the table, aren't we, as well? How about that? So that was today's episode of the Football Manager series, guys. So big thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did enjoy today's episode, please drop a like. As likes are, of course, very much appreciated. And really help the channel out as well. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. And we'll return to the next episode against... It's going to be interesting now due to the World Cup break. When do we come back? Because we're starting so early in mid to late July. When are we going to come back? Let's come back with. Should we do all of August and then City and Liverpool in a nice little double header away from home? Let's do that. City and Liverpool as we'll play for all of August, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon. Much love. Bye bye.